All right, we have the player press conferences with TJ and Aaron, and then we'll go inside the locker room. Um, we already did Mike Tomlin's press conference. I had a 30-minute rant after that, so you guys can go check that out. And we will see what TJ and Aaron have to say.
Fire away, guys.
TJ, what do you see going on with the run defense? They had a number of long runs against you guys. Part of the tackling, what's happening?
I don't know, man. We're going to have to look at it and break it down. Clearly, it's the same issues are rearing their head from last week. And in the NFL, you don't have time to go back after each and every game and make the adjustments. You need to make the adjustments before they happen, and if they happen in game, before they're allowed to continue to snowball like they did today and like they did last week. So back to the drawing board. I'm sure there's a multitude of different reasons why this is happening. But we're way too talented. We have way too good of schemes to allow this to continue to happen week after week.
Did you come into this game thinking that you had fixed some of those issues in practice?
Well, I was definitely confident. I think each and every week we feel confident going into the game. You never go into the game thinking negative thoughts, but clearly wasn't enough.
First Lance, what was allowing them to have so much success on those chunk plays? It really felt like on third down they picked up a lot of big yardage.
Yeah, I mean, we weren't able to pressure the quarterback as much as we'd like. There was a good amount of max protection. We just need to be able to get home and help the guys in the back end to reduce those big plays. Even third down and long, some of those were runs too. We need to do a better job of stopping those plays so they're not allowed to have those 4th and 1s and then be able to be much easier to convert.
Do you feel teams are maybe now, these last two teams are going at you through the middle, making it hard to avoid you?
I don't know. I mean, I'll let you guys speculate all that stuff. I'm just trying to help as much as I possibly can, any way that I possibly can.
TJ, does it affect the mood or the psyche of the defense sometimes that you have the offense and they're going down, but they're kicking field goals and they're not? I mean, I'm not saying it has to, but does that sometimes have maybe a negative effect on the psyche of the defense?
Not at all. We're just trying to control what we can control. We have enough problems on our hands to be worrying about the offense.
Going back to Baltimore, we know the struggles in the playoff game with the run game, and then these 2 first weeks of the year. Is that the transition, the emphasis on stopping the run? It doesn't seem that it's happening. You talked about it, but is there anything from last year to this year that you thought you guys had fixed, or that you thought you might have guys set,
No, I mean, there's always an emphasis on the run. The first note of every single week is smash the run, and you guys have heard me say for 9 years we're always trying to smash the run, and it's not a lack of trying. Schematically, effort, I don't know, we'll have to look at the film, but we need to be better, and we need to look in the mirror. We need to turn over every stone that we possibly can, because this can't continue to happen. Otherwise, you're just going to continue to see what we saw today, not really able to pin your ears back. Teams are able to get to one-dimensional situations. You have to wait until a 2-minute drill potentially to be able to get after the quarterback like we do. It's not fun football right now. We need to get back to doing what we do best, and that's stopping the run first and foremost to create those longer down and distances.
TJ, when that's number one priority, stuffing the run, how deflating is it then when you don't do it?
Very deflating. I mean, we're sitting here talking about it the whole press conference.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, TJ.
All right, quick on TJ. So he brought up some of the stuff I talked about with Tomlin's press conference. So that's just a funny look on Aaron's face. So with teams running the football, like, that's less passing downs for the Steelers to try to get a sack. So when people bring up the fact that TJ hasn't gotten a sack in 6 games, well, if the hypothetical, right, and this is an exaggeration, if a team did nothing but run the ball, right, every single game the Steelers played, no matter how many guys they put on the defensive line, if you were in Madden, right, and you were in field goal block or like a goal line, right, and the people just keep running and keep running and keep running, you are begging them to pass. And even if they go 1, 2, 3, oh, we lost, 5 yards running the football, we got a punt. Next drive, 1, 2, 3, lost 10 yards. 1, 2, 3, lost 2 yards total. Like, in a hypothetical scenario where they literally decide we will not pass this ball the entire game, how many sacks are you going to get? 0. You're going to get plenty of tackles for loss, but you're not going to get a single sack. So when this other team is just running the ball, you're not getting a sack. It's the same. You can't throw an interception if you don't throw the ball. Same thing. You can't get a sack if the other team is just running it. You can get tackles for loss. You can't get a sack. So it's just, it's gotta change. It's gotta happen. Whatever that is, they'll figure it out. Let's hear from Aaron.
What were they trying to take away from you that was effective or difficult for you guys?
I mean, they're sticky on the outside, good coverage guys, and played a lot of two-show, and we just couldn't run it effectively enough to kind of get them out of it. On tape, there'd been a lot of pressure, a lot of different personnel groups. Now with Spoon being out, they played, less different groupings, less pressure, much less pressure, and more too high.
What wasn't working for you guys on third down? I believe you were 5 for 15 on the day.
I mean, everything. I wasn't on target. We weren't getting open effectively enough, and they were getting some good pass rush.
Yeah, there were times in the game you looked like you were pretty spirited out there, maybe a little bit disappointed with stuff that was happening, whether it was with yourself or on. Is this starting to get a little frustrating? I mean, you're getting.
No, it's week 2. Come on now.
I know, that's
Come
what I'm
on.
asking.
Come on. It's week 2. I mean, like, it's good for us. Last week, probably there were some people who were feeling pretty good because everybody outside the building is talking about how great we were on offense and 34 points. That's the league. You can't ride the highs or ride the lows. You gotta refocus every single week and be a professional. And it starts with the practice and the preparation. And so we just get a chance to reset, take a look at what we did last week, what worked, what didn't work from the preparation standpoint, do better next week.
And sometimes when you in the red zone and you get to a certain point and you end up with a field goal, is it harder to motivate, especially some of the younger players, when you get over to the sidelines and just tell them to keep on pushing?
No, not at all. No, I mean, I look at myself first, and if we have a field goal, I probably wasn't effective enough in a situation. But, I feel like we had a good, good couple drive. Defense was playing good in the first half, and we just came out and just couldn't do a whole lot in the third quarter. And then obviously the play that took a lot of points off the board was the interception there on the 3-yard line or whatever.
Aaron, what were you looking for on that interception? What
Pat
happened?
Fryermuth. Adam McCall is the best kid ever, but he probably should have just stayed in the flat there. He knows it. I mean, or he was kind of stealing it from Pat, or just catch it, put it away, score a touchdown. But Cal's the best kid, and it sucks because he's such a great kid. But unfortunately, that whole sequence, took points off the board.
Aaron, the offense was not effective enough on first down.
Yeah.
So what do you need to do to really get that turned around? Because that's so important, being effective on first down.
Yeah, we got to run a little better. I got to be more effective throwing the football, and we got to do our job. I think if you go back and watch the film, which we will tonight and tomorrow, we were close on a lot of plays, and it's probably one person. Sometimes it was me, sometimes it's somebody up front, sometimes it's perimeter. But we just got to own our mistakes and be very accountable to each other, and take this kick in the chin the right way, be a professional about it, and come to work this week and move on and get ready for New England.
I just want to ask you about the performance that Jaylen Warren had. A couple of monster plays, obviously, for you. It looked like a number 1 running back in the NFL.
What do you mean?
Question?
He's been a partner here mostly. Hasn't really been a feature back before.
Yeah, Jalen's a great player, man. He's a great player. That was an awesome catch and run. Yeah, he brings a lot to the table. Might have to keep giving him more opportunities in the pass game because every time he touches, something good happens.
Aaron, what's the concern level, the amount of hits you're taking? Was today, like you alluded to, more about coverage than it was protection?
I have to look at the film. I'm not trying to take a lot of shots. I felt like I was moving a little bit better today. But, you know, we got to protect it up. I get the ball out. We got to get open on time. So sometimes the coverage dictates holding on to the ball a little bit longer. But it's on all of us. I got to get rid of the ball. We got to get open. And we got to hang on up front.
Anyone else?
Aaron, you guys were able to hit on a lot of crossing routes last week and to different players. What do you feel like disrupted you guys from that aspect of your offense this week?
I don't know if we called a lot of crossing routes, but they played a lot of zone coverage too high, so that's good against a lot of that stuff.
What would be your advice to Caleb Johnson after his misplay on special teams?
Caleb's a great kid, and this is a, what have you done for me lately league. And when you have success early on, you have to learn how to handle success. And when you deal with adversity, you have to learn how to deal with adversity the right way. And you can't let this get your confidence down. You can't hang your head. This is a professional league, and we expect greatness. But we also understand there's going to be mistakes, and they happen. We're human, and you got to move on and get better. But he's a great kid, and I know he'll come to work on Monday and Tuesday, and keep his mind sharp. He's always asking me, "Hey, what I got to do better?" And I tell him things, and he works on it. So hate to see it, but this is a professional football, and we got to get him to raise the standard of his game without losing that confidence, and understanding he can't ride the wave. There's going to be great games, going to be disappointing games. They're going to love you when you're riding high. They're going to try and crush you when you get beat. So can't let it crush your spirits. Keep your confidence.
Two more.
On the touchdown drive and 2-point conversion, you guys do these 2 combat balls to DK and Darnell, and they won them. How can you guys maximize more of that in the red zone to be more consistent in finishing when you guys have that kind of size of advantage?
And it's been 2 weeks. Last week we were 100% in the red zone. So this week we weren't. So I think we need to take it easy. This is a small sample size. That was 2 nice plays on 50-50 balls by 2 big guys. And we had a chance, I think probably a touchdown to Pat that makes it 21-14 and changes the whole scope of the game. So we got to understand this is the league and things happen, and we're not trying to crush anybody on our team. What happened. Disappointing for KJ. We love KJ. Cal's trying to make a play. We love Cal. We got to be 100% with our assignment, and in order to win some of these games, comes down to 1 or 2 plays. Could be in the first quarter, could be in the fourth quarter.
Last one. Anyone? All right. Thanks.
Life insurance that meets your needs now.
Fire away, guys.
TJ, what do you see?
In order to win some of these games, comes down to 1 or 2 plays. Could be in the first quarter, could be in the fourth quarter.
Last one. Anyone?
Alright, so, again, some of the stuff I was saying was it was only 2 weeks. We are 2 weeks into the season. So, stuff that showed up in week 1, is it going to be the same in week 2? Now, I brought that up on the defensive side of the ball, but Aaron's, he's bringing it up for the offensive side of the ball. 100% in the red zone. 4 touchdown passes by him. If anyone thought that Aaron was going to throw 4 touchdowns every single week, and we were going to go 100% in the red zone every single week, I would like to hold your hand and pat you on the head. Just like, oh, how adorable are you? Like, I would like to do that in the most demeaning way possible. Because you're an idiot. You're just an idiot if you thought every week was going to go like week 1. for the offense. And he brought up how the offensive line was better. I brought up how Broderick Jones was better than week 1. Week 1, if he was an F, then maybe week 2 was a C, or you know what, if it was a D, whatever, and then week 3 is a C, 4, B, 5, we have a bye week, so 6A versus Cleveland. And if that's how it is, great, get better each week. But I am curious because on the interception, Aaron rolled out, right? And at that point, it's a scramble drill. And someone said, and this was a debate between an offensive player and a defensive player, but it was on Good Morning Football. And so I think it was the defensive player said, I think it was Manti Te'o, but said, if you're Calvin Austin and, you got to stay where you are in the flat, and as the defender on the scramble drill, the defender's just going to push you out of bounds because then you can't come in and be the first person to touch the ball. That's illegal touching. And the offensive player is like, well, I'm not going to go back and occupy Pat Freiermuth's territory. I'm going to cut back in towards the middle and just run towards the middle of the end zone. And I'm going to occupy that space. Not come up and occupy Pat's. Which is unfortunately what Calvin did. He went and occupied Pat's space, which was what led to the pick. So, but a scramble drill is improvising, right? So, I'm going to ding Aaron here. Now, he had the issues with his personal life, so let's say he didn't have the issues with his personal life, right? And he could have been able to sign earlier, then maybe we don't have that problem. Maybe Calvin's more used to the scramble drill with Aaron. And now it's, okay, I'm going to either just let myself get pushed out of bounds, and I'm not going to be involved in the play, or instead of going towards the back of the end zone, I'm going to go towards the middle of the end zone. And we're going to try that. And if, it's a learning opportunity, and it's something where the chemistry on the offense is going to get better. It's the same thing with the defense. The defensive chemistry has to get better. The guys we had in the secondary were not on the Steelers last year. Think about it. Chuck Clark, Juan Thornhill, Jalen Ramsey, Darius Slay, Brandon Echols. Not a single one of those guys was a Steeler last year. Joey and Deshaun Elliott. Those two guys were Steelers and were out. Minka was traded away. Dante Jackson is a Charger. Corey Trice is on IR. And James Pierre is like corner 4 when Joey's hurt. He's corner 5 if Joey's healthy. Sorry. The guys we had playing had never played together. Except for Chuck and Brandon, but I'm pretty sure Chuck got hurt. So even then, Brandon went the entire year without playing with Chuck. So even though they were both Jets, they didn't play together. Jalen was a Dolphin. Juan was a Brown. And Darius was an Eagle. We have no chemistry back there. None. And if this was week 12, maybe it's different. But it's week 2. And we have no chemistry. Because they didn't play together. And they didn't get a whole ton of snaps together in the preseason. They got snaps together at Latrobe. But even then, it was Joey. It was Darius, Jalen, Deshaun, and Juan. Like, those were the 5. And maybe you bring in Brandon a little. And maybe you put in Chuck a little. Just to have a couple little replacements. And okay, you guys get a few snaps together. But that's it. These guys weren't playing together. So it's hard for them. It's not... This isn't Madden where it's instant, guys. This isn't your Madden Ultimate Team where it's what? I put, 5 random guys together and they work just fine. That's not what this is. Okay? So it takes time. And I know no one wants to hear that. They want the results now. They do. But it just takes time. And that's time for both. So Aaron's absolutely right. It is only week 2. We will get better. Okay? Let's see what they said inside the locker room. Alright, so it looks like we have Patrick Queen, Troy Fautanu, Jalen Warren, and Caleb Johnson. Oh, that Caleb Johnson one's going to be tough.
Does it feel like the issues you guys are having, is it a continuation of the things that plagued you guys at the end of last season, or is this something different?
Something different. I think when you got the stuff that we was getting last season, it was more of just schematic beaters that we were getting, and we wasn't clean on our details. I think now it's just one of us. We got all the details. I think we just got to go out there and execute them. It's really that simple. That's what I'm saying. Like, when we got to play them, we got to make that play. When we're supposed to be somewhere, we got to be there.
You, among a lot of your teammates, you guys were in and out of the tent, it seemed like, throughout the game. How hard is it to find a rhythm on defense when you don't really know play to play who's going to be on there?
It shouldn't matter, honestly. I think at the end of the day, you get a call, you know your job, you know your responsibility. I think everybody, depending on what call it is, they have a certain job and you know what their job is. So at that point, whoever the ball comes to, you got to make that play. I think it's that simple. Just be where you're supposed to be at and make that play.
Obviously, it's frustrating, but we just got to get back in the lab and continue to work. That's all we can do. So,
you guys need to give Aaron some more time.
100%. Frustrating personally, just as a group, but obviously we don't want any of that to happen. But we can sit here and hope and wish away, but we got to do a better job. So.
What is your advice to Caleb, or what do you kind of say to him after a rough thing like that happens?
Saying that we say a lot here, travel light. Don't let the last play affect the next play. Whatever happens, your best play is your next play. So I know he's going to be good. We all got him. And, nothing to panic about.
Is that easier said than done in your experience?
Like I said, if you can take it from anybody, take it from me. I made a lot of mistakes. And, it's the counterpunch. It's how you come back from things that's going to matter.
Did it seem like he maybe just didn't understand the role at the time, or what did you take up from that?
Him?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, probably. Like, I know if he knew to down it, he would have downed it. But he just, there's probably just some gray area in there.
Were you just not sure of the role?
If I wasn't sure, if I was sure, it doesn't matter. I still got to do what I got to do, and I still got to go in there and execute the way it needs to be executed.
How tough is this for you personally?
I just got to stick to it and move on. It's part of football and a part of life.
What the coaches say you want to keep moving?
None. It's just, just move. Got to move on with it,
All right. Let's just do this. That way, those things aren't there. So, God, where do I even begin? By the way, Queen even had like a rib injury, so he was even banged up. He came back, but he was banged up. Like Tomlin said in his press conference, he was one of the injured. So, we're just, our depth is being tested. But yeah, I mean, from what, some of these guys are saying, it's early on in the season. Patrick said this isn't the same issue we had last year, which maybe to the average fan, it looks like the same issue. Like, okay, you weren't stopping the run last year. You weren't stopping the run this year. You didn't, it's the same thing. You didn't do anything over the offseason. Which, now maybe Patrick's lying. That's possible. Yeah, he's lying. But if he is not lying in that hypothetical scenario, let's say he's telling the truth and it's not the same issue as last year. Okay, how do you fix this issue? Because you fixed last year's issue, so can you fix this one? And it's going to take time to fix it. Troy, yeah, we need to protect better for Aaron. Like, we do. Not much here. Now, I will say Caleb's answers were very short. He's angry. He's pissed off. I can tell. He doesn't want to be there. You can tell. He doesn't want to be talking to the media, but at the same time, he has to. He has to talk to them because it's mandated by the NFL. So even though he made a crucial mistake and gave the other team 7 whole points, he does have to live with it, and he has to learn from it, grow from it, and that's it. And if he's punished by the Steelers, he's punished. Whatever form that comes in. They can't fine him for it, but if they take away playing time or just being dressed for game day at all, we'll see. But it sucks. I will say again, it sucks. I am pissed off that the running game is not working well for us, and we're not able to stop the run, our run defense. I'm pissed off about it. But I'm able to think critically about it. Some people aren't able to do that. If you guys did enjoy this, please do leave a like. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, turn notifications on. I'll see all you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.